Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. People are slowly stepping in here, so we're gonna get started here. We have 12 people here, so making progress. The rest of the course, I mean, we are just 2 more weeks before the final exam. And like I said earlier, we are not gonna have another quiz because I think that 4 assignments, is enough. So we'll have those two that you are working on, and many of you have submitted, and then the final exam. And I will. Our semester starts next week, Wednesday. So the dust kind of settles. I will have a little bit more time, so I will start in the end of this week, next week, to start grading your submissions if you are eagerly waiting for those. But I'm certain that everybody, if you do same level of work that you did your quizzes, you're gonna be just fine. And final exam, I told you before this, those of you who've taken a course with me before, that I don't like multiple choice timed exams. And the reason for that is very simple. I don't believe in memorization. I believe in understanding of material and critical thinking. And so the best way of learning, in my opinion, is for you to have an opportunity to do your own research when you're constructing your answer. And in that way, you remember the content more because you're actually actively researching it and writing your answer. So obviously you can use the textbook for the course as a resource as well, but that doesn't really demonstrate your research skills. So going and researching outside sources is always a better way to put together your answer. And so to me, that's much better than some multiple choice when you just circle the answer. And also there's no time limit, so you can do it more flexibly. And those who have test anxiety, it kind of alleviates some of the test anxiety. And most importantly, it improves your writing. I do ask people to write quite a bit, and because I believe that that's the somebody. Let me just message here. So yeah, like I say, that writing is really when they have measured the outcomes of different academic programs, they have found that um, people do better in online programs than they do in face-to-face. And the reason for that is very clear. Online programs force you to write more. And when you write more, you learn more. We remember what we are writing much better than what we are reading. So it turns out that people learn better in online programs just because there's more writing work. So I'm trying to follow, that kind of information that I've learned through research to apply to your learning. So that's sort of the logic behind everything that I do. Um, all of you are doing really well. All of you who are submitting your work are doing well, and you will pass the class. There is no way you can fail this course without, if you submit the work, you pass. Because, if you put effort, you'll get enough points. And I'm not strict with grading. I'm quite lenient with grading because to me, this isn't really about grades as much as about learning. So anyway, if I haven't done my spiel before, there it is. The remaining chapters of the book are kind of specific topics, different environments, different situations where law and ethics are applied. And I'll pick a couple of those chapters for our remaining course time together. But some of that is something that you may want to read just, if you think that that applies to your specific industry that you're working in. But they are very US specific. Like I don't think that it makes a lot of sense to talk about labor relations. That chapter talks about labor employment law and bargaining and unionization and all those kinds of things in the United States. And of course, it's very, very different in different countries. Germany, for example, has significantly different union in environment and labor relations environment. So it's really just a too US specific. And there's some other topics there that are very, very US specific. Corporate governance, we'll probably go over that chapter, but so you can kind of glance through. I intentionally left some of those remaining chapters open because I knew that they were not going to be topics that will apply to all of you. But this chapter that I want to cover today is kind of an extension of our discussion last time, and I really appreciate all of the conversations that we were having last time. It was really good to have exchange on these things, and I think that we'll probably have some good discussions today as well, because I guess we can all agree that technology is big part of our future, and internet is a foundation of that technology because it unites the world. It makes logistics, worldwide logistics, it has revolutionized the way we are able to ship things and deliver things around the world and communicate. And so with that, obviously, we talked about some of the challenges and some of the obstacles in terms of making internet available to everybody in the world. But then when we do have internet available, then we have to struggle with other kinds of challenges. And of course, those challenges include things like cybercrime, hackers. We have to really discuss artificial intelligence because it's it's coming, it's here, and it's going to change the way we utilize information and yeah, there is some scary scenarios and there is some better scenarios. So we'll talk about that as well. And most importantly, how do governments regulate this information? Because everything about you is out there on the internet. Every time that you posted something in Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, it's out there, accessible. Every time you posted the consumer review of some product or some service, it's out there. Lots of things about you is out there. All the websites that you appeared in or whatever. And because information is stored in cloud-based resources, I don't know how, they're not contained, saved in anybody's hard drive anywhere. It's out there in the cloud. So obviously it's accessible to hackers. So all of your medical information, all of your legal information, or your credit information, I mean, literally everything is out there, for grabs for those who know how to access it. And of course, every business that we interact with, whether it's a grocery store or a clothing store or, anything, our information is used and collected. When grocery stores want you to have a membership card, the only reason they want you to have some sort of discount membership card is so that they can track your purchases. And your information, gets pulled in, and there is, information about information that is called metadata that is being collected, your profile and everything like that. So, I mean, it's just there. And so governments have to regulate that, somehow to maintain people's privacy and all of that sort of thing. Intellectual property and other things like that become an issue. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Governments, have to step in and protect individuals because, um, like I said earlier, everything about you is in the internet. So how about your right to be forgotten? How about if you did something foolish in your teenage years that is now, coming back to haunt you, and you're just a teenager, and you made a mistake and got in trouble, and now people are evaluating you for a job opportunity or something, and they see that from your past, and they judge you based on that. That's obviously not fair. We all grow up and we all have done stupid things as teenagers. So, our right to be removed. Or what if somebody puts some fake stuff about you out there, some slanderous information out there? So, do you have asked to remove, information from your internet search that contains some personal information which you believe that is damaging? And that is something that is a struggle. Governments may say, yes, you have a right. The problem with that is that once you pull it out and you get somebody to pull it out, force them to pull it out, then somebody else posts it. Because once it's out there, anybody has it, they can repost it. So it becomes this eternal hunt, and it becomes very difficult. But at least there are some laws to protect it, that at least that original poster, you're able to go and challenge them if you can find them who they were, and force them to remove the content from the site. This is very serious stuff. I mean, you think about some, and especially in today's environment where AI can alter images. They could be, pornographic, images of, anybody, with fake bodies and fake faces. And now it's out there, and you can get it moved, and people believe that is true, kind of thing, or anything, any kind of you involved in a crime or something like that. So if somebody has a motive to go through the effort to do that, they could do that, and it could definitely ruin some reputations. Also, intellectual property. Governments do put boundaries and laws to protect individuals and companies, ideas, concepts, and other symbolic creations of human mind. That's called intellectual property. It can be anything. It can be digital art. It can be people writing articles, books, stories, people creating movies, videos. It can be a lot of different things, that music, of course, that can be spread via internet. And so now people are pirating it, and they are using it to make money. Movies, the movie industry has changed dramatically. People don't go to movies anymore as much because they can stream movies through internet, and somebody can go and release the movie before its release date, pirated version of it. Then it kind of takes the revenues away from movie companies. So there are many special laws and public policies, copyrights, patents, trademark laws. The problem with that is that a lot of these are country specific. So United States, there are pretty tough copyright, patent, and trademark laws. But if they have been stolen by some other country, then that's no bueno. That's not good, because there's no way we can enforce other governments. So there's a cheating website that students at one point used quite a bit. I was in another university when we struggled with this, an online university, and this was a Canadian site, and lots of our online course uh, test answers and papers were posted in this cheating website, and it was a Canadian company. And we had really no jurisdiction, obviously, in Canada. So it was the university's legal department really pursued them, and they did get them to cooperate, voluntarily and out of goodwill, and remove some of those things. But it was a challenge because there was no legal jurisdiction. And so Europe is, generally speaking, maybe tougher on these things than US is in terms of privacy and different things. So when we put out website out there, we have to always think about the European standards, because they tend to be a little bit more stringent than American standards. But general data protection regulation 2018 is relatively recent. Really regulated the processing of personal information, by individual, company or organization. That's an important regulation or law. 1998, U.S. passed Digital Millennium Copyright Act, making it crime to circumvent anti-piracy measures built into most commercial software. Obviously, there is software, that is available to make it difficult for people to download images or, videos or any other copyrighted material. But as soon as you come up with some sort of protective measure, then hackers, they meet that protective measure and they figure out a way around it. So, making it illegal to get around it, I don't know if it's very effective, because people who are, have decided to commit a crime, they probably are going to pursue that, if they have a way. Look at my husky there. He likes to look at the view of the mountains, so he keeps staring at the mountains. I always wonder if animals can. I don't know what they see up there in the mountains, but as you can see, I have beautiful mountain view over here. Yeah, technology in business. Think about, what we are doing right now and what you do every day. Emails, text, WhatsApp, different kind of software solutions. There are many. There's so many that it's even difficult to give examples. In educational environment, we have student information systems that are in the cloud. We have learning management systems, which Moodle is, for example. So Moodle, so that we can teach these courses. We have all kinds of different services. Turnitin to check for originality scores. Things just go on and on and on, and different industries have different types of solutions out there. So when you think about the role of that technology in business, it's just enormous. All credit card processing and all of payments and things like that go through internet these days. So there's plenty of information out there for somebody to access. If you think about, you go to I don't know, anything from car dealerships to hospitals or whatever, and they go in their computer terminal and they pull out your account. They say, okay, what's your birth date? And then they go out there. You go to pharmacy, go pick up medication, and they're like, okay, what is your birth date? And they put your birth date out there and pop, information comes in, and all of your medications, all of your medical history, all of that stuff is popped out. In car dealerships, when you buy a car, they pull your credit report, all of your other information is out there. Just think about numerous different ways that we put information on the internet. So our information is out there. If we are business owners, our company's information is out there, because we may be vendors to somebody else. And so obviously those get targeted. So employees and consumers get targeted because hackers are interested in that information. There was a big data leak few years ago in Target, for example. There's been an Apple, there's been Google, there's been lots of different, these companies have had some pretty major data leaks. And, they happen so often that all we really hear about them is that if we have some sort of filter or some sort of, program that checks on those things, sometimes we get a pop-up and saying, your username has been associated, in a leak with millions of other names. So it may or may not become a problem to you, but that's why we change passwords. Well, how many of us change the passwords regularly in every single account we have a password for? Many people don't. But the point is that, we should be changing them monthly and create passwords that are complicated and difficult for people to guess, because hackers get around those things easy. Multi, what is that called? Multi. Because I have a brain block right now, but when you have to put your information twice, those kinds of systems have become very, very common where, you have to get a code in your text message. But of course, hackers have found a way to get around those. So now we use software apps to check your identity. And so there are all kinds of different problems with that as well. So again, as soon as we come up with the protective tool to protect our privacy, the hackers get around it, and we are chasing them, and then we come up with some new technologies, and they again discover those. So it probably goes on forever. The employee-employer relationship is really kind of changing because we now have an ability to really get to be almost in constant communication with our companies that we do business with, because it's all through internet. So the way consumer relations happen, customer relations has changed. We don't go face to face anymore. We interact. We are different kinds of computer-based communication channels, and of course the way our business shopping habits are collected really, really, become useful for a lot of companies. Tracking big data using software algorithms to be able to analyze big data, um, including personal metadata, which again is data about data. It's all of those preferences and habits and things that kind of define, our or show our online behaviors out there is something that companies want, because if they can figure out your profile, they can specifically target you for different kinds of purchases and things that are specifically interest to you, and it's pretty effective. So they can do all kinds of different things, and like I said, all of those membership cards, the purpose of them is to collect data. Shopping carts, when you push a shopping cart in a grocery store, they have little transmitters in them. They collect data of where you stop. There is just numerous different ways that you think about the parking meters. You put your money in a parking meter. They are usually electronic these days, and you put your credit card information, and they're connected via internet. Now they can track your whereabouts exactly. If you go through toll roads and it scans your license plate or whatever, so where you are physically all the time can be scanned. Not to mention that they can track your phone, and you make any text message or email from your phone, and anybody can also with the skill can track it. So it's kind of scary when you think about it. That we can be found, and anything we buy, anything we do, can be easily tracked. If somebody really wants to go after it, then has the technology, capable of doing that. E-business, our the way we shop around, especially after the pandemic. I don't know about you, but everybody has different habits. But I don't remember when I went to the grocery store last time. I mean, I don't know when I bought furniture or something like that, or technology last time physically. I mean, I pretty much buy it online and it shows up on my door. And I mean, in my family, we eat out a lot. We don't really cook a lot in our family because we are two working adults with teenage kids. So, we order in all the time. So to be honest with you, I don't remember when we cooked last time a full meal. Usually we go and order something, what does everybody want? Chinese, Mexican, Italian, whatever. And then you order, and half an hour later it shows up at the door. And that's in Alaska, which is most scarcely populated state in the United States. So imagine in big cities, New York, etc. I mean, that happens even more. So e-business, I mean, it just flourishes and it's just booming. So let's turn this back to you a little bit. How about you all? How much do you use e-business, or where you live? Is this becoming a common thing too? Can you order pretty much everything on your doorsteps, or in your culture, do you still go and buy groceries and things, face to face? Tell me. I understand that some of you obviously, in places like Ukraine, I mean, obviously I haven't been there in a recent history, but one could expect that, countries, that are in war and things like that, it would probably be a little bit challenging. So, Olena, go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. Um, yeah, Professor Tomi, I can say that vice versa, it can be very strange, but we are very digitalized. We have everything. What I mean, we have special even program where we have our personal documents, not like ID or like cards or like passports. We have everything in our like app one together, and even if you lose any kind of document, you have this application and it's
Right.
authorized. You can provide like a license or a passport. Plus we have a lot of digitalization because Ukrainians are all over, and all of us, we have to solve our internal like documents, or some, I would say, for instance, I'm abroad and I have to provide any authority to my relative in my name to, for instance, to do something with my apartment instead of me. So we can do it through different applications, and it maybe it moved us more because even our accounts all also now work through different programs, and even we sign everything online, and our online businesses, they grow and grow and grow. uh, Even me, I work remotely from any part of the world if I can, if I have opportunity, and we have our team uh, in different parts of Ukraine or somebody abroad. So I would say that it made us an not an opportunity, it's vice versa, but due to the war, we grow from other side, so we don't have any other chance other to survive. So in
That
some
makes sense.
certain we develop.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense a lot. I mean, you know, obviously when physical infrastructure is, critis compromised, I should say, obviously digital way of maintaining documents and creating that infrastructure becomes a very, very good option. So it makes sense, absolutely. And utilizing, I can imagine how sort of the digital, e world, internet, and all the applications out there can actually really be making it a little bit easier and better for you out there when things are obviously difficult in other ways, because you can get access to those documentation when it would be physically maybe more difficult to get copies or whatever. So that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. And I think that
Yes.
you're also very right, is that, I mean, here in the United States, for example, we don't get as much news about Ukraine anymore than I mean, in the beginning of the war it was every day, and then now it's the presidential elections and whatever. So over here we don't know, most recent updates. I usually try to look what's BBC or something like that. But I mean, I think that people do not understand that life goes on, and that you have to survive, and that you are intelligent and educated and civilized, advanced country, and you certainly find ways to get around, and internet is a way of making that better. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you. And as another example, I can just explain how we survive when we don't have electricity. What we can do without electricity? We don't have internet. We don't have, for instance, me. I live in the building when we have 22 floors. We don't have lifts. we don't have water, as long as we don't have electricity, we don't have internet. So we do it now from we come from different parts. We buy generators from for our building. We arrange different providers for the internet which doesn't work and which can work without electricity for at least 8 hours. We
Mm.
buy some portable things. So we are just inventing something else which we can do for um, for for survive. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, human, spirit and will is just amazing when you put your minds together and figure out innovative ways to survive. And I mean, thank you for sharing. I mean, it's continues to be horrible what's going on in your country, and obviously, we are all supporting you and hope for the best and wish that we could do more. And yeah, governments aren't doing enough, that's for sure. But I'm glad that you're getting some support there. Anybody
Thank
else?
you.
Yeah, as
People?
Elena said, during the pandemic of another example, it's the same idea about what Elena said. During the pandemic in 2020, in 2020, when the coronavirus was there, a new application were launched by the government in the whole Middle East. So you can do everything using your mobile. And these applications are very secured or highly secured in another way. In the past, we were using the electronic government. Now everything is electronics.
Hmm.
You can buy everything while you are sitting at your home. Everything will come to your doorstep. When you go outside, you just need your mobile. You don't need cash. You don't need the credit cards. You don't need even your ID or passport or anything. Just the mobile phone and all the application inside this small device. So you can do anything and everything at any time you want and anywhere you want.
Hmm. How is in your country? I mean, if you buy groceries or if you order food or you know
Okay.
um,
I live
anything else, do
in a
you?
small city in the north of Jordan. It is at the Syrian border.
Hmm.
Okay. 2 years back, I was so lazy. I was on vacation, and we need some grocery, and I was really so lazy to drive the car and go and buy. So my wife told me we have everything online. We can buy it.
Right.
I am not there, so I don't know what's the application going on. So she just opened her mobile and she
Yeah,
buy everything within less than 15 minutes. All the grocery, it was on the doorstep. That easy, that simple.
that's great. I mean, that's exactly what I was meaning. Is that
And the
I
most
mean, people,
important thing is the security of your credit card, the security of your
right?
personal information.
Yes, and I have to say personally, I don't remember when I used cash money last time. I mean, I use credit cards and debit cards all the time, and we order groceries and things like that almost every day. And we have not had yet any kind of identity theft or any kind of security issue. I have never in my life had anything, you know, any information stolen from me or any property stolen from me via hackers or anything like that. So, and honestly, I haven't met that many people who have that had happened. So overall, although those, potential for people hacking, and steal from you is there, for the most part, the technology is, keeping us quite safe. And you know, I mean, I don't remember when I had problems with my computer last time. I mean, I'm a Mac user, and I mean, Apple, they're pretty good in keeping up the security as long as you update your computer frequently. So yeah, it's exactly what you said. I mean, your credit card information is mostly safe, and banks do a good job protecting your information as well. I Many times I go, get gas in a gas station somewhere in a neighborhood that I normally wouldn't be that often, and immediately I get a text message saying, was this you? From the bank, because they've tracked my patterns, and if they notice that I'm in different part of town or different city or something, if I'm in a business trip or something, they immediately want to check on me because want to make sure that nobody's using my credit card. So that's good. And I mean, it is, I think that lots of people, in America, especially in the United States, would be surprised, Ibrahim, what you just shared with me, that in a smaller town, you know, which, sometimes Americans are so self-centered. They think that the only civilization happens over here, which is kind of crazy. But, so them to imagine that, people can buy groceries in a small towns in your neck of the woods would be kind of difficult for people to understand, which is, silly. Then again, people over
Yesterday,
here,
sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. You can continue. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that it happens to me too. People don't know, Finland, so they think that we live in igloos in Finland and we wrestle with polar bears and all of that kind of stuff. They don't realize that, we do have electricity and we do have internet and all of that stuff. So yeah, some people just don't understand. And it's great to know that, you are able to do exactly the same thing that we are able to do here. And like I said, Alaska is like Wild West, so if we can order groceries over here, um, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but if you would look at the population density of Alaska and compare that to Manhattan, the island of Manhattan in New York, if Manhattan would have the same population density that we have in Alaska here, there would be only 28 people in the island of Manhattan. So that puts it in perspective how, like, I mean, it's this state is more than double the size of Texas and only has about 700,000 people. And so there's so much forest and mountains over here, and the weather conditions are pretty bad often that you would imagine that nobody would be able to get over here to deliver to your house. But it happens, and they do it so fast that it's unbelievable sometimes. So,
Okay.
I mean, I find it very
I
easy
have
to believe.
to add two things, please.
Mhm.
In 1996, I was paying the bill by the landline. Just
Mhm.
call the
Yeah,
bank. This service was available in 1996 in my country. You
yeah,
can dial the bank and you will pay all your bill just with a click in the button. That's it.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, that's a good point.
yesterday night, I was watching a movie, something about China.
Yeah,
They have a new device. Once you want you want to buy something, you will go and register your hand, your palm. Uh, just you will the device will read your palm. Once you read it, they will send a code to your mobile. You will register this palm to your bank account or to your credit card in your mobile. And anytime you will pay, just you will put your palm in front of the device and you will pay. That's it.
yeah. It's amazing, and it's
Yeah.
good coincidence that you're talking about China because China is very technologically advanced, of course, and one
Yes.
of the reasons
Yes.
that they're able to do it that way is because government is able to control these things, way more than in US, for example. So, like Alibaba is an example of e-commerce, e-business platform that is able to really sort of unify and bring together all the distribution channels so that they're able to provide that sort of seamless customer experience. And so they can do these amazing things, much easier in in US because of the competition. It's a little bit more difficult to find out any kind of united system. So, I mean, in reality, there are so many different companies providing services to deliver things to your food, your doorstep, that you have to kind of become pretty sophisticated and use these services enough to be able to know which one is better than another one. Um, uh, so that's, I guess, good, both good and bad. But yeah, China has an advantage in that for sure. And but e-business, what we are talking about is just, I mean, it changed our life like that. We have worldwide presence. I mean, I can order things from Europe easily and from anywhere. Cost-effective marketing and promotions, obviously, era of sending catalogs and things like that via mail is kind of over. Nobody looks at their mailbox that way. We only look at the most important mails, and we don't necessarily look at solicitations in the mailbox anymore, because we get everything via email and we get everything in banner ads and internet. So for companies to market and promote their services, everything has changed completely. And so if you took a marketing course 20 years ago in a college, and you take a marketing course today in a college, it's completely two different things. And that's why many colleges, when we transfer credits, we ask students to retake courses like marketing course if they took it 20, 30 years ago, simply because it's not the same anymore. And I kind of disagree with this better customer service idea. I think that sometimes internet does not create better customer service. It creates, I don't know, it creates more accessibility and easier for customers maybe to reach customer service, but it's often uses AI and it's impersonal, and it's difficult for you to get to talk to a real person. And then of course when you do talk to a real person, you often talk to somebody in you know somewhere in India or Bangladesh or Philippines, or countries that are commonly known to have places that they do these um, contact centers and call centers. So um, I mean, it's not bad in itself, but there is sometimes language issues, and sometimes just the way you know somebody understands the product and its use, somewhere in India versus how it's actually being used, in a country that those services are provided. So those get tricky sometimes, but yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the global e-business, just numbers are growing, all the time. This, getting into the specifics of this graph is not so important because it ends in 2021. But the point is that there's a steady growth of people getting more and more in e-commerce and e-business and doing their business right now online. And so I mean, pretty soon we get into the point that malls disappear, and they're already disappearing, traditional shopping malls, because people just don't do that anymore. And the way we consume products and goods, and there's some problems associated with that, because now when something has to be delivered to your doorstep, so rather than you going into your car and driving to store, now you're ordering things from 4 or 5 different places, and you have 4 or 5 different vehicles coming to your door. So traffic, gasoline used, the pollution being generated, by serving people in this manner is actually, more. And then computing power, creating that kind of a storage space and having computers on and humming all the time to maintain all the information in a cloud. I mean, it's extremely energy demanding. Um, AI,
Can I interrupt you, doctor?
yeah, go ahead, of course.
When you buy grocery from 3, 4, or 5, or even 10 grocery stores, it is one car from one company will go collect all of these items and bring it. It is not different provider. It is the same
Right.
provider.
Well, yeah, it is. It depends, of course, where you are and what country you are. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is that if I order groceries, order dinner from a restaurant, order some, I don't know, medicine for the pharmacy, or some furniture from a furniture store, I mean, all of those will be different cars. Now, yeah, groceries, if you can sometimes do multiple trips, but what I'm saying is that different kinds of goods from different kinds of things are not necessarily delivered by the same company. Over here in US, many restaurants, for example, have their own deliverers, so you don't get some outside delivery company to pick up that. And so, I mean, some countries have an advantage in that they're able to unite those services, and they have less pollution that way. But over here, there's so many competing services that some stores use this one service, other stores use this other service. And of course, consumers use a variety of different services. So in the end, they are all there driving around simultaneously. And so, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's done right, I mean, if I go to shopping, I'll probably drive from one store to another store and, drive my own car in the same trip to get everything I need. And I guess potentially, if I'm smart about it, if I use the same delivery service, that could be the same thing. There's one car moving, picking them up. But it's also
And
equally possible that I have to, order from 4 different stores and they all use different delivery. So, yeah, go ahead, Ibrahim.
yeah, in addition, 70% of the cars used in delivery are electrical car.
Hmm.
So no pollution, nothing. It is good for the environment.
Yeah, I mean, it is good that, I mean, that's 70% certainly is not happening, over here in Alaska, for example. There is almost zero electric cars on the road over here. And, most of the delivery people are private people like you and me who just take a side job and they use their own car. So whatever car they have is what they use. So they're not actual companies using the company vehicles. They are private people, taking a job at the delivery company using their own car. So so yeah, you're right that potentially, if this is organized, and that's kind of what we are talking about here. How can governments regulate these kinds of things in a way that would require or give incentives or in some other way,
Yeah,
make it possible for people?
this is custom free. All electrical car are custom free, no customs at all. While other cars, the custom fees can reach 200% of the car value.
Mhm.
While if you are buying an electrical car, it is custom free. If you are buying a hybrid car, it is 20% only.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's motivation for the people to buy electrical and hybrid cars.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I mean, they certainly, some countries, they work better than others. Norway is famous for the fact that they have more electric cars per population than any other country, I think. In US, electric cars, the purchases are stalling. The basically what it means is that, if you look at the, diffusion of innovations theory, the early adopters have now adopted electric cars, and those who wanted an electric car now have an electric car, and now we are getting into the late adopters, and those people are somewhat reluctant, and they have not convinced yet, and the rate at which people turn into electric cars is plateauing. So pretty much everybody who wanted an electric car, they now have an electric car, and now they are struggling selling electric cars. uh, many car companies are now changing their mind. Mercedes is going, back to developing internal combustion engine cars. Volkswagen just announced the same thing, that they are reinvesting billions of dollars into going backwards, and Ford is losing $150,000 in every, electric Mustang that they sell, because of the development cost, and they're just not selling them enough. Um, it's sad, but people are stubborn in some parts of the world, especially, over here where I live. People are very traditional. People believe in the, good old ways of doing things, and people are not convinced on electric cars over here because of the climate. Batteries don't do real well in -40, -50, temperatures. So people rely on their own the gas cars just because the infrastructure exists for that. So you're right. I mean, the potential is there, and I wish that, it would be going faster, because um, it would be better for the environment and better for the society. But people are stubborn, unfortunately, and so um, there's some challenges, and so. But yeah, you make good points. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts. So let's talk about artificial intelligence. So what do you all think? Anybody have any opinions about artificial intelligence? Do you think that we are headed to a future like the Terminator movie, or something like that? I mean, is computer gonna take over and destroy the world, or what do you think is gonna happen?
No,
You're right. I can hear
of
your
course no.
opinion. So
Artificial
what do you think?
intelligence is one of the most important thing for us in the near future. For
Yeah.
example, since many years we are using Internet of Things, which is communication between the mainframe or your laptop or PC to your machines. You will
Hmm.
send all the data for the production in the floor, shop floor, just using the intelligence of the
Hmm.
machines. All the cutting list, all the fabrication drawing, everything, you will just send it with one click from the technical office to the machine, and the machine start the production. This
Hmm.
is was the start. And with the advancement in the AI will help people a lot. Okay, they are saying some job will disappear, but I'm sure always and all the time the human touch will be there. So
Yeah.
yes, we support to have the AI, and we are working hard to use this, and we are sure it will be a help for the humanity. It will
Mm.
not be a curse. This is my opinion.
Thank you. Very good. That's very
Humble
positive.
opinion.
Yeah. Okay, Samia, you have your hand up, and then Olina after that.
Yeah, hi Tommy. Hello
Hi.
everyone. Yeah, AI, I think, coming from IT background, we are talking about AI from long back, and I personally don't think that it's going to take jobs from human beings, because we human beings are creating it, and it's only going to help humans in, performing better, collecting data, and really, in every field it's only going to help. I think hesitation from organizations in utilizing it is because that idea of, that it might take human jobs is the only hesitation, which is like maybe blocking in some organizations. And I've heard, like, in many organizations they are pretty scared of using AI because they think that it's going to steal their data. But the whole with AI is basically it uses data to be able to understand the process, it's making faster. So yeah, I mean, I'm totally in favor of AI, really doing more, collecting more knowledge in AI, and doing some even some coding when it comes to AI, and hoping that, that hesitation goes away, and we should be able to then use AI in a proper manner. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I mean, that's another positive view on that, and you know, I mean, that's good that you guys are excited about it. Olina, how do you feel?
Uh, it's very interesting topic because I work also in one project where we based on AI develop our soft product. If it's interesting, I can share in Chatbox's website, and I can share how it will absolutely help people instead of taking their jobs, I would say. And I agree with Sam and my previous peers that I believe that and we work on this solution that will definitely empower sales skills for different businesses. What our product is, we already invented the methodology which will help to track how salespeople provide their negotiation with clients, whether they align to the standards or no. This system will automatically track, combine all information, and like in different gaming, in some gaming format, it will show to the managers the results of each salesperson, and by this we improve, and we by AI we help, because when we do it manually, like I was in this team when we started to do and track it manually, as human being we make mistakes, we cannot track everything, but the system will do it automatically and take more, I would say, like analytics, mostly analytics or routine job, and people can make more like creative part of this job. So in this company we will also have humans, and it will be human for human, but also due to AI it will be easier, and it will like help more quickly than it would be manually, I would say.
That's cool. That's good. You feel positively too. What if I'm an AI? What if you're not talking to a real person here at all? What if I'm a computer generated uh, professor here, talking to you about these things? Which, by the way, if they would create an AI, they would probably put some hair on me, but that would be better. But it would be possible, right? I could be replaced by an AI with the hairy version of me, somebody with less of an accent, and I could interact with you
Google
just like
Assistant,
this.
for example, you can talk and discuss with them. With it.
Well, AI could. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you're right, and eventually you would detect that, right? But I mean,
And by the way,
theoretically,
you just in a simple question, you can let him stop. He cannot answer. He cannot do anything. So a human being will all the time be the control. He has the control all the time. AI, with all the advancement, will never reach to the mind of a human being. You know, the big computers, which was built in the state long back, even with all the advancement, they cannot match with a human being mind, especially if he has the knowledge and the skills.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
sure it will help the human. It will
yeah.
help us
Well,
a lot.
hopefully, it's certainly intended to be that way. So, Ahmed, you wanted to say?
Yes, Mike, what I want to say that is I am scared of AI advancement. You know, it may could reach some point which cannot be controllable. And for example, for expert like Geoffrey Hinton, who is well known as a godfather of AI, he has expressed some concern that AI may reaching a point where it can improve itself without human intervention. So this is a catastrophic.
Yeah, and yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just here, being a contrarian and devil's advocate, so to speak, just to create conversation. I don't know personally exactly, like I think it depends on us. That's my opinion of it. What the future of AI will be will depend on our ethics, our government regulations and a lot of different things. We need to control it. That's basically my opinion. But I agree with a lot of things that Ahmed said, is that we can't vision what AI will be at this point. We just don't have capacity to imagine the boundaries of what it could be. And so, can AI become something that can think for itself, to um, learn itself? I mean, absolutely. I mean, AI is collecting all information available out there on the internet all the time, and it uses algorithms to make decisions. So, at what point those decisions can be independent without human input? And what is interesting, and Ibrahim is, of course, you know correct about it, that machine will never be like human mind, but that can also be a disadvantage, or that can also be a bad thing. you know Not good thing, because human mind is not perfect. Human mind is very flawed, in the sense that our we are not rational. None of us are rational. We Human thinking is what is called bounded rationality, meaning that we are never able to make a clear, rational decision without influence of our values, beliefs, ethics, emotions, situational factors. We may be tired or whatever. Computer can analyze all the options 100% objectively, and without any emotion, without any ethical judgment. It can just rationalize, and say, okay, well, this. And so this idea of, like, if machine gets an idea, and I'm just talking like, you know uh you know uh like movie scenarios, many of movie scenarios based on an idea that computer decides that the way to save the earth and humanity is to get rid of, say, 50% of the human population, because overpopulation is one of the biggest threats to this planet. Well, the machine, the AI would be 100% correct. Now, would we ever as humans consider that to be an option to get rid of half of the human population? Well, of course not, because we are human beings. We would never go to that, but a machine would see something like that as being completely logical because it's based on data, based on whatever. And again, that's maybe silly scenario, and it's overly simplified, but that's what Hollywood movies do. And you are right. Irrationality is the cause of creativity. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I agree. So when it goes to artistic thinking and everything like that, you're absolutely right. That's where the beauty of humanity comes from. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big humanity supporter. I mean, I'm not like yay AI at all, but I mean, I'm just pointing out the fact that there could be some problems that we are facing. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, lots of these high tech gurus and big names out there have talked about some very, very critical issues that they see in the future, that they warned about AI. So I don't know. Maybe they are not right. I don't know. Go ahead, Ibrahim. Go ahead.
Yeah. Regarding this point, human ethics should control this. There
Yes.
should be rules and regulation for this. In addition, if of course, when I invent something, I should have a back door. If I cannot access in the main door, I should have a back door for control. And this is all, if I think Samia can confirm this, all the program, when they make a program, they will have two way of control, the main control and the backdoor control. And this is
Yeah.
done to control things. Am I right, Samia?
Yes, you're right, Ibrahim. Like, we definitely always have plan B and double access. It's not just always one access. We always have a backup. For example, for data, we always keep the backup not just at one place, but now organizations are even keeping their servers. We are on cloud most of the time. But if any organization is, following that traditional rules of keeping the servers, they always keep their servers in a place which is like away from their main office. So there's always like backdoor, as you're saying. There's always a plan B, so that your all your data and everything is secured for sure.
Yeah. And I
Few months
and I
back,
really
we had an incident in the company. One of the team, he download I think a format or something. There was in that format a virus. He is when he downloaded that there was something strange on the computer. He informed the IT. What did the IT do? Once they check it, immediately they disconnect the electricity from the server, and they disconnect the server and allocate only this device. And this device already there was a ransom virus on it. All other computer were saved, nothing happened, and we managed to solve the problem within less than 30 minutes. Because we
yeah.
know if you disconnect this device, the problem is off. So there's a lot of way to protect your company, protect your machines, your devices. Even you have multi branch in different countries, in different places. You can manage it.
Yeah.
Till date, yes, we can do that. I don't know in the future.
Well, exactly. And I agree with you 100%. And it's the future that we should be cautious of. And I share all of your enthusiasm. I think that AI has great promise, and it can help us to do things better in a lot of different ways. Will it eliminate some jobs? Well, yeah, some jobs will be eliminated, but then there's going to be jobs that are not going to be eliminated, and there's going to be new jobs created. So I think that it's all going to work out in that front. But our ability to control it is an interesting question because I mean, like everything is on a cloud, right? So if our information is in a cloud, us unplugging our computer and turning electricity off isn't going to change the fact that our information is in a cloud. And so where is the cloud? I mean, where is that machine where it's stored? Nobody knows. It's very difficult to track where the origins of, where the information that is in a cloud is kept.
It is servers allocated in different countries, in different companies. They have their own server. You buy the storage from them. It is their responsibility to help you and to save you and to protect you. At the same time, most of the companies, they have their own backup. Even if the cloud copy destroyed or whatever happened, you have all the time, you have the backup. Each and every company, they have a daily backup. For example, we are a mid company. We have a daily backup. Every day, at the end of the day, we have a backup of all the data. So if whatever happened, we are already safe. We don't have a problem. Even we have a cloud connection.
And also a lot of things are saved in cloud. I mean, corporate data, because our PC are not so protected. Something can happen with the physical storage, with the laptop, but the most important information of the company is usually stored on the cloud. Because even if you change your laptop, it's broken, or there is attack, firmware or software attack. If the most important data is on the cloud, when you change the device, you can restore it.
Yeah. I mean,
So more or less we're used with that.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly applaud your positivity on that. And I'm not trying to, create any fears or, promote any conspiracy theories or anything like that. I'm just pointing out the fact that we don't really know the future yet. And so what we know currently, we have AI under control, and everything that you are saying is absolutely true. Where that's going to go in the future, and how it's going to evolve, nobody really quite knows yet. We can just imagine some possibilities where it's going to take us. Drones, it's an interesting, situation that more and more and more, there's companies exploring already drones delivering packages. Drones can be hovering around us and, be tracking us. Theoretically, there's medical supplies, consumer packages. FAA has already approved use by United States Postal Service, for drones to be delivering packages. Safety, when you think about security guards physically walking in some properties, could be replaced by drones surveilling, properties, and, our personal safety could be managed by drones. That's, something that obviously we all know that in the war scenarios in the military, they have been using drones for quite a bit. And, I think there are some serious ethical considerations. I don't want to provoke a controversial discussion over here, but, I'm sure we all have feelings about, the misuse of drones and civilian, cost of, for, that type of a thing. So, I mean, that's an example of artificial intelligence. What if the drone is starting to think independently and make its own decisions? And to a certain degree, it already does in these scenarios. I mean, when you think about it, GPS. I mean, how many of us use traditional maps anymore? We pretty much put coordinates, on our computer, and the GPS will tell us where to go. And GPS can be programmed to make decisions to route us to anywhere. And so, and if there's artificial intelligence extension in the AI, I mean, in a GPS, it can, and it already kind of does. It does. If you do Google Maps, it constantly monitors traffic conditions and accidents and whatever, and it reroutes you, based on those conditions. What if there's a glitch, and it reroutes you, to drive off the cliff? I mean, I know that's a simplistic scenario, but the point is that the potential is there. And the same way like self-driving cars, which is a form of AI. There's been a lot of accidents. Tesla has been, experimenting with them, and there's been a lot of accidents caused by that. And then who is responsible legally? What if the USPS delivery box drops in your head in the middle of the street? Who is responsible? The drone maker, USPS, FAA, and so there are legal, complications. So, does anybody have any thoughts about these drones?
From our short experience of what we saw, our small experience, what we saw, yes, in the military side, they did it good. But in the commercial side and domestic side, no, it still need a lot of improvement. And the self-driving car still need a long period to improve it till they reach the best way to how to drive the car in the most safest way. Because
Absolutely.
till now, yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
problem happen regarding the drones. While they are controlling it, either the delivery itself it fall, or they cannot bring it in the right place. We saw it a lot. They are
Right.
trying, but still
Yeah.
they need to improve it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Think about 1995, 1997, around those years when internet started, first becoming a thing. Those of us who, remember those times, we would never have imagined that internet would be doing what it is doing today. It was
That's
only
right.
the beginning, and it was like, oh yeah, so far we have it under control. So far it's doing this. So far it's doing that. We could not imagine that we could one day talk face to face, across the globe like this. That internet could do all of the other wonderful things that it does. So I think my point is that you're absolutely right, but we can only evaluate current state of these things. And of course, the drone technology is not even close where it's going to be one day. Self-driving cars, they're only in the beginning of development. There's so many of these AI applications that is just a beginning, and where it can lead, it's just it's sky's the limit. Pun intended. Go ahead, Ibrahim. Go ahead. You had a comment. You're on mute.
Sorry, my mistake.
Okay. So yeah, you had a thought you wanted to add?
It is my laptop today. It has a problem. I don't know.
It's AI. It's AI is controlling your laptop. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's an interesting to think about the possibilities of future, and I certainly hope that it'll continue in a positive note and it will advance us, and hope that there won't be any big problems at all. Um, Chief Information Security Technology Officer is kind of a new role. Well, not so new anymore. It's been for many years, but it's something that there was a time in the past when we could have never even imagine a position like that. But one thing we can imagine is a little bit of a break, or do you just want to move forward? Do you need a break? I mean, what do you think? Because we don't need to take a break, but if you need a break, we can take a break. We can go on and end early, or we can have a break. So what do you need?
I think we can go on, Professor. I think it will save everybody's time if we get the time towards the end.
Sure, absolutely. Does everybody agree with that? Okay, with no
We have no
objections.
problem.
And with no objections, and of course individually, I don't know if you need to take a break, then I know I wouldn't be able to control it. So yeah, Chief Information Officer. This is a slide about some concerns, and can't really read this really well. Reinvestment of critical areas, immediate boost in online traffic, high demand for collaborative tools, guides, training, and operating norms. That tends to be the biggest area concern with information officers. And that would be my concern as a CEO, I mean, I would say that training is the biggest concern. I can spend money on all kinds of technology solutions, but employees are busy. They don't, often have limited computer skills. We have some older generations people working there, so who are not as quick learners. So training people to use those tools, in a collaborative and good way, that's the biggest challenge that I see it. And of course, companies are trying to make them very, very interactive, but often there's a huge amount of money that has to be invested in training. So here are the type of responsibilities that CIOs have. Establish an innovative language for everybody throughout the organization, to be clear on the objectives, et cetera, providing structure, educating others, applying marketing knowledge, acting as a lead security officer, participating in committees. I mean, there are lots of different things that the CIOs could be doing. So they're certainly a busy job, and they have to know a lot about a lot of things. It really has kind of evolved into a senior executive role that is really strategically essential to all business and operations. Kind of similar, like in a human resource management course, we talked about how HR managers are becoming strategically important, and same way CIOs, the information officers, are really becoming strategically important. It becomes such a big part. It's not just a supporting thing, technology supporting us. It's a really just a bigger and more important picture. Cybercrime. It's many companies, and certainly I teach for some universities that we have to do cyber security training every quarter. I mean, it's not just every year or twice a year. I mean, literally every quarter, 4 times a year, different training, because these things evolve, and anything can, from illegal music files to stealing millions of dollars from bank accounts. I mean, there's just many forms of cybercrime, and there are criminals out there who are well trained. They could be former corporate employees, former high-tech experts, who decide that route of crime is a better choice for them, and they are not unsophisticated people often. They can also do it for political reasons, creating and distributing viruses on other computers just to destroy information. Could be used as a attempt. I mean, attempts of war. Cyber war is becoming more and more a real thing, where nations are spying on each other and trying to destroy each other's infrastructure through viruses and everything like that. And that is, I mean, they've already been scenarios where other country can hack into your electric grid and turn down the electricity in the whole country, type of scenarios. And those attempts have been detected many times already. I did some courses for American military university, and the American servicemen, they talk about the cybersecurity efforts in U.S. military, how seriously they take these things, and how it is. So it's certainly not just in corporate world, it's everywhere. We all kind of post confidential business information out there, so it's in the same way like our personal information. It's always a risk, at risk. Like I said, these hackers are individuals. They can be acting alone, or they can be really well organized. And the problem is we don't really know what kind of organized crime groups they are and what they're trying to accomplish. We know that certain countries, that are hostile to U.S., for example, they do have secret cyber crime or cyber war, departments, divisions, and they are actively trying to interfere in our elections and so forth and so on. So we know that this is happening. We just don't quite have a handle of it, anybody, I guess. Or at least the CIA is not telling us, or FBI is not telling us what kind of handle they have. So it is committed in individuals and groups gaining unauthorized access. Why do they hack? Well, like I said earlier, financial incentive motive, retaliation motive, seeking media attention motive. I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why people can do these kinds of things. Some hackers work for good. They could be purpose to try to create positive change. And while the end goal is positive, sometimes the ways they go about it are very controversial and not always shared by everybody. But they are official hackers that are training to help companies. They goal is to fight against the bad hackers. So there are social clubs, hack club, hackathons, hackers list. You can hire a hacker for yourself to protect yourself against hackers. So it goes both ways. Cost of cybercrime, just some numbers out there. 791,017,790 and not dollars. I mean, sorry, complaints of cybercrime with over $4.2 billion, losses. So yeah, that's a lot of money that hackers have been able to steal. Average cost of a data breach, over 21,000 per day for 46 days, totaling almost $1 million. So most cost increase in detection when attempting to recover. Distribution of the business organization, computer systems. I mean, all kinds of different costs involved in recovering from those. It can be really difficult when, I don't know if anybody has had that, I know people who have had this happening when the ransomware, these companies, these cyber criminals, they are able to gain control of your computer. They lock your computer and they ask you to pay X amount of money, to get access to your computer again. And some companies, end up paying those because there's no way around it. And the information can be really critical for them. So, unfortunately, Colonial Pipeline, the largest fuel pipeline in the United States, paid hacker group $4.4 million. So they are successful, these hacker groups sometimes. McKinsey and Company, they obviously do a lot of research on a lot of different things, very reputable firm. They were, struggling with their capabilities to keep up with criminals. And so they're kind of interesting example. They collect so much data that it's interesting to criminals. Business responses, great lengths, that companies have gone to build these defenses. Incident response plan for cyber attacks. Companies have those in the same way like they would have, fire alarm, fire plans if the building catches a fire or active shooter incidents or anything like that. They have, procedure for cyber attacks. They are reducing criminal intrusion. They, again, they hire these hackers, good hackers called white hatters. So yeah, there's government obviously trying to combat cybercrime. And so there's been some laws and continue to be legislation to try to make that tighter. And it's starting to expand to social media now. Social media is kind of the Wild West in some sense. They're able to do whatever they want to do and they're able to, influence a lot of different things. So they're trying to, government is starting to get involved in that as well. NATO, ratified change to our organization. So yeah, NATO is not really, around anymore. So we don't, really need to, they are around anymore, but, there's some, challenges with NATO, how they are able to have all the nations, coming together. So we'll see how effectively they are able to do this. So yeah, I'm just kind of skipping this just because it's been, 2018, 2018 or over here 2014, some of these years that these examples are by now they are so old that it's almost ridiculous to talk about something that happened 2014. Obviously, cybercrime has gotten more sophisticated since then, and the laws have been implemented around the world that are way more sophisticated, battling it as well. So it's the future, right? We are going to be constantly fighting cybercrime. We are constantly, cyber is going to be in our terminology much more in the future. And there was a time 20, 30 years ago when you could have never imagined anything like that, happening. So, we just have to get used to it. That is part of this technology age, and experts are going to have to be trained and hired for companies to try to keep us safe. And hopefully we are able to stay ahead of the hackers and not other way around. And but I promised you early departure today, so without a break. So we're going to end it here. I need another cup of coffee at this point. Hour and a half, and I'm starting to, lose my train of thought. So again, a pleasure to talk to you. If you have any questions, let me know. And we're almost at the end. So keep up with your good work, and we'll get to the finish line. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Mike. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.